All right, Letsile Tebogo, 30.69 seconds in the 300-meter dash, world record, taking down the previous record set by Wade Van Niekerk all the way back in 2017. Now, this has some huge implications as we look forward to 2024. A lot of people have definitely chimed in, but there's a few points that I want to talk about in terms of Tebogo. First off, last year he ran 31.5 seconds in the 300. Yes, he slowed down a little bit. It was actually at the exact same meet. He probably would have run like 31.2. I don't think it would have been a drastic improvement, but 30.69 shows that he is significantly improved, if not just his speed, but of course his finishing strength. That last 100-meter dash in that 300 was really the shining moment in the race. When we're talking about how this translates, the 200 meters is of course on everyone's radar right now. He ran 19.50 seconds last year, coming off that 31.5, if we want to just at least make some comparison. So you can assume that he's at least, probably going to get to 19.4, if not 19.3 or faster. It's a little bit hard to tell because many 300-meter runners, at least guys who have run the 300, haven't been the top 200-meter guys. Aside from a few, right? Usain Bolt and Michael Johnson, they of course dominated the 200, but you haven't seen guys like Noah Lyles, Andre DeGrasse, Arian Knighton, Kenny B, right? Some of these current 200-meter guys haven't dipped their toes into the 300. So it's a little bit challenging to extrapolate what 30.69 exactly means for the 200. But we know that he's definitely going to give some competition to Noah Lyles, who is, probably the clear favorite, at least for the 200 right now. Additionally, the 300, I was kind of talking about how the 300 translates to the 200, potentially into the 100. It's a little bit challenging to extrapolate, mainly because there isn't as much data for guys who run this fast in the 300 and then drop down into the 100 and 200. Look at some of the top 300-meter guys who have run throughout history. Wade Van Niekerk, Michael Johnson, Danny Everett, right? LaShawn Merritt. A lot of these guys are 400-meter runners as opposed to 100, 200 runners. So it's going to be interesting to see how Letsile Tebogo actually translates when we go outdoors. Now, of course, you do have Usain Bolt, but I want to caveat that Usain Bolt is a once-in-a-generation talent, right? It's hard to compare any athlete to Usain Bolt. So I don't want to say that, oh, Usain Bolt ran this in the 300 and he also dominated the 100, so Tebogo is going to do the exact same thing. It's a little bit more challenging to kind of break that out. Additionally, Usain Bolt ran his 300-meter personal best in 2010. That came after his 2008 as well as 2009 dominance in the Beijing Olympic Games and then the Berlin World Championships. So not really the exact same comparison when talking about Tebogo, who is really still rising. He's only 20 years old, so we're going to see how things pan out on that aspect. When we're talking about the 100-meter dash, it's a little bit harder to extrapolate there. 100-meter dash personal best for Tebogo is 9.88 seconds, which he ran last year. I think that we can assume he might go a little bit faster. Again, the 300 to 100 is not a perfect translation, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Tebogo run 9.80 or if not a little bit faster this year. I do want to taper off expectations just slightly. Now, I've been one to say that, Tebogo has, he has a potential to win double gold when we get to the Olympic Games in Paris later on this season. I've even said that, 2023 Tebogo can be compared to 2007 Usain Bolt and, both dominated going into the following year. But I don't want to jump on, too much of the hype train and say that Tebogo is going to absolutely kill everything. What if Tebogo runs 9.80 and then also 19.40? That would be a marketed improvement. But in our minds, if we're looking for 19.2 and 9.6, that's going to completely shoot our expectations when we do see some fast times. Additionally, I do want to talk about the 400-meter dash. A lot of people have been saying, should Tebogo run the 400? Could he run 43 seconds? Yeah, in theory, yes. If you want to go on a technical aspect, this 30.69 should translate to 43 point something in the 400-meter dash, but we all know things don't work exactly like that. Last year, he did run 44.7 seconds in the 400. We know that came off the 31.5 in the 300. So there is the potential for him to run sub 44 seconds, but is he going to run the 400, later on in the season, right? If we're talking about June, July, is he actually going to dip his toes in the 400? Who knows? If he was to run a 400 in like April or May, I could imagine him running 44 low, maybe 44.2 or something like that. I do want to again, just thinking of the expectations and thinking of reality. A lot of athletes don't necessarily translate exactly one performance to another performance. The potential is there, and I would love to see it, but just putting things in perspective. Also, I know some people are going to talk about altitude. 30.69 probably translates to 30.9-ish or so. Regardless, I think it shows that there's a lot of potential. It shows that Tebogo has improved, and that's the really, really big marker, the improvement relative to what he did last year when he ran 31.5. And then the last thing I do want to note just in general is kind of what this 300 meters for Tebogo really represents in the grand scheme of things. Again, he's a 200-meter runner. He's run 19.5, and this is just indicative of the progress that we've seen specifically in the 200-meter dash over the past couple years, really since about 2016 or so, right? Since Bolt, finished running the 200. This has really been a huge surge of 200-meter runners for the men specifically. Andre DeGrasse, I think, was kind of the caveat for that. His real breakout was 2015 when he got the bronze medal in the 100, but 2016 was the first time that DeGrasse ran the 200 meters at the Olympic Games. He got the silver medal there. He ran 19.8. And then with the surge of Noah Lyles, we just started to see a bunch of guys dropping 19.6, 19.7s, super consistent. Andre DeGrasse, Noah Lyles, Kenny B, Area Knighton. All these guys have been in that 19.6 range or better, and really just pushing the pace and showing that, yo, we have to step things up or else we're not going to be able to get on the podium. You can't run 19.6 or 19.7 and expect to be a gold medalist. You're going to have to run 19.5, 19.4, 19.3, or even faster depending on how things progress. I think Tebogo's 30.69 is indicative of that progress that we've been seeing in the 200-meter dash as a whole. A lot of these guys are seeing that we need to step things up. We need to run fast if we want to be not only on the podium, but also potentially a gold medalist. Tebogo realizes that, especially after he got the bronze medal in the 200 last year, again, just behind Noah Lyles and Area Knighton. He's seen Noah Lyles run 19.3. He's seen Area Knighton run 19.4. He knows that he is going to have to step up from that 19.5, and the 300-meter dash is just another stepping stone to that. There is that advantage where Noah Lyles and Area Knighton aren't as strong 400-meter runners. Tebogo has run 44.7. Area Knighton and Noah Lyles are not even close to that when talking about the 400. Now, we may see them dip their toes into it at some point, but I think that Tebogo, improving on that 300 meters, improving on that strength is really going to translate well outdoors. Does this mean that he's going to beat Noah Lyles? Does this mean he's going to beat Area Knighton? Can he beat Andre DeGrasse? I don't know. I don't exactly know if that's going to happen, but the potential is there. So I'm super excited. I want to see Tebogo run 19.2. I want to see him run 9.7. I want to see him run 43 seconds in the 400. Do I know if all that's going to happen? No, but I do know that he is very much on progress, on track to be able to do so. He has a potential, and if he puts his all on the track, he is very likely going to go down as one of the greatest sprinters in the history of the sport. He's only 20 years old. This is about to be his first Olympic Games. I think Tebogo is going to put some fireworks on, but if he only improves and runs 19.4 and 9.8, listen, I'm not going to be disappointed. That is a marketed improvement on what he's done so far. So let me know what you think about Tebogo. Let me know what you think, he's going to be able to do outdoors. Do you think he's going to win the gold, maybe double gold in the 100 and the 200? Or do you think he's going to jump up to the 400 and put something down crazy there? Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Back again next time. Thanks for watching, y'all.